I wanted to talk to everyone this morning about passing information on to your children about their history, about their grandparents, about their great grandparents, where you come from, what city and state that you come from, what your childhood was like growing up, what kind of person were you growing up. A lot of times our kids don't know who they are because we don't really pass down our history, our information, our DNA to them, right? A lot of times our kids have questions that we just don't answer to them regarding where we're from. A lot of times they never go back and visit, in most cases, in a lot of cases, their father's side of the family. Maybe because the dad isn't there, maybe because they don't really know who their father is, or their dad doesn't have a great relationship with them. But a lot of times they are missing out on that side of information, like the medical history, right? A lot of people that I talk to say they don't even know what their father may have passed away from or what their father suffered with medically. So in a lot of cases, we don't have an opportunity to say, man, yeah, I have a history of this, or I have a history of cancer, or I have a history of diabetes, or whatever the case may be, because we never got that side from information from that side of the family. We always have to remember that we know African history because Africans during the slave time period passed down information to each generation through word, through dance, through song, through oral interpretation, through a variety of different methods to make sure that each generation knew what tribe they were from. It's very important that our children know who we are on each side of the family. Understanding that, hey, dad is from Omaha, Nebraska. His mother name was this and his father name is that. It's essential that we keep those lines of communications open to the grandparents. It's important that grandparents on each side of the role knows the grandchildren. Grandparents have to get involved with continuing to pass down that information. I remember as a kid growing up when my grandmother lived with us in Nebraska for a long period of time before she passed away. I would go into my grandmother's room and sit down and just talk to her about my mom and get funny stories about my mother. And she would talk for hours about growing up, picking cotton. And my grandmother was born in 1909. So that lets you know how old she is, right? And the history and the things that she's seen. She talked about the Great Depression. She talked about the Civil Rights Movement. She educated me on so much information. I used to just could not wait to get home as a kid, to get home and talk to grandma. Now, grandma, get on your nerves. I can see where my mother got it from. but the history that she taught me about my side of the family, she taught me about my first name, Lenoya, right? She told me why it was so important and where that name came from, and why she fought very hard to make sure that my mother named me that as my first name. So please, let's make sure that we are telling our kids both sides of the family. Make sure that we are sharing with them that, hey, I don't know much about your father's side of the family, but what I do know is this about him. This is what I know. About his mother. This is what I know about his father, and dads, don't be afraid to go back and tell them, hey, I didn't know my dad all that well. I didn't grow up with my father. Or if I did, this is what my dad did. My dad fought in World War II. My dad fought in Vietnam. My dad was a street hustler. My dad was this. My dad boxed in the Golden Gloves. My dad did this. That way they can get generational pride. Or even if it's not something that you could be proud of, that is still something that we should pass on to our children. Because what we don't want is for them not to have an identity. Identity is very important to the helping develop strong and emotional children. So All of this just to say, pass history down to our children. Continue to communicate with them. Keep an open dialogue. Your past is no secret to them. And whatever we may have done in our past, it's all right. It's our past. Our children's going to love us regardless. So keep this up. More good things are coming. And I appreciate every single one of you guys for being part of this journey. God bless.